to stay alive. Trying to find me shawty and make her mine. Now I'll find one in no time. With the help of my homies, I'm going out with my bros. With my
All right, bruh fans, here we go. This video is going to be my overall review, thoughts, impressions, recommendations, basically the season 1 overview. What did I think of bruh? Now, it started off airing, holy crap, time flies by. The first 3 episodes dropped on May 7th, 2020, and the season wrapped up November 12th, 2020. What a ride it's been. Let me just say, I enjoyed it. I mean, this was a good show in the sense that it's one of the few shows on, well, would you count a streaming service as television? But then again, it's hard to kind of deem what actually is considered television versus what's just a streaming, whatever. Basically, it's one of the few shows that I can think of in recent years where you have 4 intelligent, for the most part, successful, for the most part, heterosexual black men leading a cast. Think sisters, but it's with men. And you got bruh. So, before going further in the video, do me a favor. Take a moment and subscribe to the channel, because unlike BET Plus, where it costs $9.99 plus tax, it's free to hit subscribe. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Let's try to get to 50 likes. I think that's obtainable. Also, follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And as always, if you want to go ahead and hit that bell notification icon and select all, you can make sure you keep yourself notified whenever I post content to the channel. So, yeah, this is, I did take down notes, so this will be as structured as possible. If you haven't watched bruh, I'd recommend it, because I'm well aware there were people who straight up said, after Ruthless went off after the mid-season finale, I'm done with my subscription. Bruh isn't worth it alone, especially when we're getting 1 episode a week, for me to keep up my monthly subscription. I'm not mad at you, because of the fact that we do have Ruthless coming back Thanksgiving in a couple of days from now, and bruh has wrapped up. You can actually binge the series, and this is a bingeable series to watch. I mean, it is 24 episodes, but each episode is more or less 21 minutes each. And if my math isn't completely awful, that means this is about 8-ish hours of content for you to watch. And the fact that these episodes are bite-sized, that's what makes it enjoyable. So I will say, though, that considering the episodes are as short as they are, I really wish we had at least gotten a couple episodes a week, or to be completely honest, if they dropped the entire season at one time, I wouldn't have been mad at that. That would have been an interesting way of digesting it, because this was indeed a very watchable show. I thought it did what it set out to do, which was to show that, hey, black males can lead a show, and not every black show, or every show that has a black male character, has to be a crackhead, somebody who's in and out of jail. It's just a story of 4 college buddies making it through their, 30s, living life. I mean, what was the plot synopsis? Bruh examines dating, careers, and friendship in contemporary society for a group of college friends in their 30s. This group of bruhs will examine the stereotypes of African-American men and maintain their brother-like relationships while finding love and fulfilling careers. So, I listed down a few different categories I wanted to explore, just the usual things like, pacing. I picked out some recommendations in terms of like, hey, these are the episodes that were some of my personal favorites. I feel like, you might enjoy them too if you sat down and gave them a watch. And, I'm going to talk about the good and the bad, like the cast chemistry, ranking the bruhs, like which bruh is my favorite, favorites at least. Let me just say up front, I think the cast is phenomenal. I feel like every character did their job in regards to they played the role that Tyler Perry wrote for them to play. I don't feel like there's any weakness in terms of somebody's performance that was weaker than someone else's. I feel like the only time there was really weakness is when there were character regressions, or you could tell that the episodes were just filler. Because let me jump ahead in my review. If you were to skip any portion of this show, it would have to be the entire wedding arc. Let me look at it. Is it episode 16? Bill plans a grand gesture for Regina on her wedding day. It's Regina. Okay, so episode 17, falling into fate. So from episode 17 to about episode 21 or episode 19. Hang on a second. Yeah. So basically from like episode 17 to about 19 or 20, you could skip all of those. I honestly, the wedding arc was the worst part of the season, and I hate to say it because number one, Regina looked good as hell in that wedding dress. Number two, the brothers look awesome in their suits, but it was so hard to watch week from week because of the fact that not only were we getting one episode a week, but the episodes did no favors to any of the characters. It just made... I'll get to Bill, but this was easily like the Garlic Jr. saga. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, then you know why the Garlic Jr. saga is the worst. It was the Garlic Jr. saga of the bruh season 1. Like this season, that portion of it, the entire wedding arc and Bill's grand gesture. My God. Okay. But all that aside, the pacing, it was decent in some places, but here's the problem. I remember when the show first came out and we got the first 3 episodes, I watched them like 8 times. I'm not exaggerating. I enjoyed it so much. I easily watched those 3 episodes multiple times back to back to back. Because again, it's 21 minutes, so that's about 8 hours. So it's kind of ironic when the show first came out, I watched those episodes enough times together to watch the entire series if the entire series was out at that time. I think that what really started to make things notable that the show was going to take a fillerish dragging route was around episode 4, when they spent like the first 15 minutes, or not, well, basically the first half of the episode where it's just Bill and Regina going back and forth. I'm like, no, Tyler, no. I was praising the show, but it just gets to the point. And then episode 5, when Peter comes in and Regina and Bill are having a heart-to-heart, and it's like, get up out of here, man. I'm like, Tyler, please, no. I was praising the show. Why are you doing this? Because there are times where the repetitive dialogue is just like, bruh, became a victim of Tyler Perryisms, where it's the characters just recycling the same dialogue multiple times in the same scene. They're standing in the same spot. It happens multiple times in the series, and I've gotten to the point where I just know when it's going to happen. But that's the problem, because I thought this show might be different, considering that it's only 21 minutes as opposed to like Sisters or The Oval when they're about 40 to 42 minutes. So I figured that what would make this show stand out isn't the time, the runtime, but the fact that Tyler would do a lot with the 21 minutes he gave himself per episode. So I felt like, oh, okay, this is great, because even though the episodes are short, it's like, it's going to be good enough to keep me watching. However, there were many episodes where the episode felt a bit dry, and then right at the ending, it's like, oh shit, and then the episode ends, and it's like, damn it, I gotta wait until next week to find out. So he knows how to write it so you tune in the next week, but I hate it when he has only a little bit of time to work with and he doesn't utilize it to the optimum level. So there are multiple examples this season outside of the wedding arc where episodes are just dragged out, and then when you get to the final couple scenes, that's when it gets good, but then you got to wait until the next week to find out what happens next. So the pacing, if I were to give the pacing a grade, I would give it a B-, because I do feel like there were more pros than cons when it comes to the pacing of the overall season. Now, like I said before, I think the cast did a great job. I'm still planning to do my video where it's like, bruh versus sisters, what season had the better season 1? Based on what I saw, I think the chemistry between the bruh cast is better than the chemistry between the sisters cast. Yes, I said it. And I know as soon as I do that video of bruh versus sisters, I'm going to have to do like a 5-minute disclaimer. Just because I'm a male, it doesn't mean I want to pick bruh over sisters, because there are a lot of factors that go into it. But I think the cast chemistry is very good. Freaking Miss Alice is a trip. Her and John definitely had that that mother-son relationship. And wow. I mean, the phenomenal actress, I can't even like begin to express what her talent means to me. Is it Sandra? Chandra? Okay, I don't want to say the name because I don't want to mess it up, but my gosh, she is phenomenal. She's been in so many Tyler Perry projects. I didn't know she was in For Better or Worse. Oh. But yeah, she was in I'm only going to name the plays I actually saw. Class Reunion, the Meet the Brand. Oh, she was in a live tour, not the DVD. She was in Diary of a Mad Black Woman as a singer. What's Done in the Dark, I remember that one. Big Happy Family, yep. She was in the Medea Christmas, yep. Medea Gets Job, yep. So I feel like it's just incredible. I didn't know she was a member of the SOS band. What the heck, man? I love this song. Great. You dropped a bomb on me, dirty baby. I know that she got a bad rap this show just because of the fact that she's playing a much more vulgar character than Tyler Perry fans are used to her playing, which I understand that, because there were multiple scenes where it felt like Miss Alice was pulling. I felt like there was a little bit of Tiffany Haddish there, where it's like, over the top sexual references that honestly didn't really belong in the conversation that she was engaged in, where it's like she could be talking with the way she just came on to John's friends and everything, and when somebody would ask for advice, it would get a bit too heavy-handed with the sexual innuendos that honestly had no business there. But I feel like Tyler was using the rated BET plus rating to do it. So that's probably why Alice was a bit more loose than, let's say, she would have been if she was on the regular beat. Well, let's say on TBS. So I can see why Alice's portrayal was a bit of it rubbed people the wrong way, because we're seeing this iconic Tyler Perry actor in a role that we're not used to seeing her in. But Miss Alice knew how to give advice. She knew when the scenes didn't require for her to be over the top with the sexual stuff, that was like the morals, the heart, the lesson. Like, she will tell it like it is, and that's amazing. Laura, on the other hand, is like Alice 2.0. Like, her whole stick is being sexual. Hitting on people, dropping that thing, and being a person with sticky fingers. But dang it, I mean, hey, she played the role well. I ain't gonna lie. But then we get to, and I'm kind of listing like the characters who, Peter. Poor Peter, man. I feel bad for Peter. Peter Pumpernickel. Wait, is it Peter? That's it? Yeah. Oh, wow, it is. Yeah, Peter Pumpernickel. I thought that was just a jerk name that Bill gave him, but no, it's actually Peter Pumpernickel. I felt bad for the guy. Like, him and Bill knew each other, I believe, and turns out, of course, him and Regina went out in college and whatnot, but then he broke her heart, and basically from there, it's a situation where, wait, did they go out in college, or did they? Yeah, it was a couple years ago they broke up, so I think this is after college, but yeah, in any case, he got the short end of the stick in more ways than one. Basically, it's a situation where nice guy didn't know he was hooking up with Bill's ex, and then because Bill took it upon himself to declare his feelings a couple years too late, the wedding got called off. So poor Peter. For the few episodes we've seen him, poor Peter. That's all I gotta say. Now, when it comes to the ladies, the leading ladies, well, maybe not necessarily the leading ladies, but then again, 3 out of 4 are technically leading ladies because Valerie. Well, no, I already talked about Alice. So I'm going to be talking about Pam, Valerie, Regina, and Charlie. Charlie, I wish we saw more of her. I felt bad because when we finally saw her come back towards the end of the season and she's at the sandwich shop to fix a leak and she finds out, oh, this is the sandwich shop you own. Okay. But then John is like giving a half-ass excuse as to why he never called her. And we don't get any follow-up. All we get is Laura and Alice telling Charlie that, you know, you need to doll yourself up, you know, look a little more feminine if you want my son's attention, that kind of thing. And I'm like, I mean, John didn't seem to have a problem when they interacted at level 28. So I really hope, well, I mean, season 2 is coming. So hopefully she's in season 2, because if not, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. But I like Charlie. The fact that she is self-made, the fact that she's defying expectations by being a female in a typically male-dominated occupation, because honestly, I don't know a damn thing about, you know, fixing leaks and everything like that. So give it up to Charlie. I really wish we had more scenes between her and John, because, you know, that would have been great. Then we get to Regina. I liked her. I will get to Bill, but I honestly like Regina. I didn't see anything wrong with her character whatsoever. The fact that, except for the whole bathroom sex and then, you know, getting married the next day, that's the one thing. That's the one thing I hold against her. Like, I just hate people that do that. It's like you can cheat on somebody and then act like it didn't happen. I mean, I don't trust people like that. But honestly, I like Regina. Bill, like I said, we'll get to Bill. I just feel like Regina is a person who is patient, kind, and loving. Everything a good woman should be, but she just had an asshole who didn't know how to treat her. And she meets someone nice, but then, you know, wants to figure out if her feelings are truly over. That, well, to be fair, I wouldn't like that, but at the same time, it's like, it would be best to get that out of your system, no pun intended, before you walk down that aisle to say I do. So I do like the aspect of Peter trusting Regina enough to be with Bill just to kind of see where, you know, her feelings are at. That way there's no doubt when she walks down the aisle to say I do. But to have bathroom sex with your ex during your bachelorette party and then the very next day go to the wedding, that's ridiculous. Then on top of that, we don't know if she's pregnant or not. People are already calling, man, she's probably pregnant. Imagine she goes to LA and she's pregnant. That would suck. Wow. Holy crap. Because then I feel like that would really be a wake-up call for Bill to be like, well, I'm not ready to be. Man, sit your ass down. Okay, so Regina, I liked her. We get to Valerie, who I kind of have a bias towards because me and Caroline did an interview. She is a sweetheart. Her character, my God. Wow. She had layers to her. I honestly thought it was the stereotypical crazy chick who you sleep with her one time and she can't let you go. She tried to ruin Tom's life and, well, his career and his life. But then after she calms down, honestly, one of my favorite episodes or favorite moments is when, you know, Mike recorded her and has her confession, you know, recorded and pretty much stops her in her tracks because she admitted that the accusations were false. And then after that, she kind of calms down just a little bit. And, you know, her and Tom kind of warm up to each other again before he gets pissed off at her. And that's like the last time we see her this season. But I think that it's interesting to see a character like that, because I'll get to it when I cover the topic of, you know, the multiple themes or how real the show felt, because we don't really see stories like this given that kind of attention where it's the man who's being, you know, the victim. The man is the victim. The man who is put in a position where a person lies on them. And the narrative has changed because we get to see how women are treated when they make accusations versus men who make accusations. So, yeah, Valerie was definitely one of my favorite characters. And I will admit I am a little biased because Caroline is amazing. So then we get to Pam. Woo! I mean, when you first seen Pam and she naked, that pretty much lets you know right there. I'm just joking, no, but seriously, in episode 2, she's like straight up naked. I'm like, what? Or was it episode 1? I think it was episode 1. Yeah, I think it was episode 1. Yeah, episode 1 where her and Mike. I'm like, what? BET Plus? Okay, so I like Pam. I think Pam, if there was an award to give out in terms of like charisma, I would say Pam is the winner because what's the word? Is it telegraph? Because This woman's facial expressions, my God. From like her smile, I love it, but just her facial expressions in general are phenomenal. Like, I think in almost every freaking episode review, or whenever I do like screenshots or make a meme, Pam's faces are on point. I don't know if Tyler writes it in the script like, okay, right here Pam's going to act this way, or if Alyssa does it naturally, because her freaking facial expressions are just they never miss the mark. From sarcasm, from angry to sad to upset to I mean, I can go on, but I think for me, you know, she's the woman that Ring Mike, who I guess you could say could, you know, bring Mike. Well, I don't even want to say bring Mike to his senses, but basically be the one to have Mike settle down. But given what happened with Andy towards the end of season 1, we kind of know that's not the case. But I like Pam. She's a great character. I like the fact that you have a woman who's in control. I think that's what makes her character so appealing. The fact that you got Mike, who's a womanizer, but Pam ain't for that. It's like, you're my side piece just like I'm your side piece. Or you're my side dude like I'm your side chick. So never the feelings shall meet until the end of the season, where it's like, okay, let's try to be exclusive. And then we saw how that worked out. Whew. There go the ladies. All right. So I pretty much went over the assortment of characters. Do I really need to talk about the sister stuff? I mean, I loved anytime Andy popped up. And of course, when Bellamy came, that was like confirmation that bruh takes place before Sisters episode 1. I don't have much to say. I just love the crossover element of it. That automatically gave this series a positive light in my eyes. So now we get to the part where I talk about the bruhs themselves. And again, I think all the actors did a great job. I just feel like the script favored some more than others. So this is my personal ranking of the bruhs in terms of their story, their likability, and I'm going from top to bottom. And again, this is just my opinion. You can let me know what you think. The award for number 1 bruh goes to Tom, because I feel like he's the straight man of the group. He's like the Sabrina from Sisters, you know, the sensitive, understanding, caring one of the group. I think his storyline is one of the most realistic in terms of it tackling a lot of real world things like corruption, if you will, within. I didn't know hospitals were like that in terms of, like, you know, hospital politics. I mean, from being a man who's dealing with false allegations, sexual harassment from coworkers and bosses, dealing with crooked doctors in the hospital, trying to be the glue that holds his other bruhs in line. And now we're dealing with a domestic violence situation. Need I say more? Number 1 in my book. Number 2 is a toss-up. This is a toss-up. I put John as number 2. Now, it could switch depending on the day, because it could be Mike at number 2, but I think John deserves the number 2 spot, because the season the beginning of the season had me thinking he's like the deadbeat of the group, because of the fact that it's like, bruh, your bros came together and gave you like what, 200,000. Look, I forgot the amounts because it's been forever since the show first debuted, but it was like what, $200,000 to get the sandwich shop up and running. And then he's expecting the bros to chip in hundreds of thousands, well, tens of thousands more in order to buy level 28. And he pretty much gets pissed off at them. But I think why John makes it to the number 2 spot isn't just because John is a character, but I think his story is so real because it meshes so well with Alice as well as the bruhs. You know, basically the fact that we're seeing, you know, how Alice treats him, a mama's boy, pretty much puts him down, and the relatability factor of all the bruhs. But I remember when the show first came on, I thought about, I know what it's like to be John, like to have family and alleged friends, you know, pretty much talk down to you instead of trying to lift you up. But then as the story progresses, we found out why he was the quote unquote deadbeat of the group, because he took a major fall for Mike's sake, and that pretty much, kicked him out of school and everything and, whatnot. But he actually grew because even though he took that drug money, he had a redemption arc and things turned around for him. So during the back half of the season, John really wasn't doing as much as during the first half, because I remember looking back at the the episode synopsis and the listing. I'm like, oh snap, it's like, John was pretty much, feeling like an outcast from the group during the first several episodes because he felt like his bros betrayed him. And then around episode 10, where he gives up the club and his cousin buys him out, Leon, and he pretty much, I think it was around episode 11 or 12, that's when the guys pretty much meet up at the bar. And that's like the first time the bros are together since the beginning of the show. And they're pretty much all recapping, what's going on in their lives and whatnot. So I think for me, and then of course, the Charlie thing, I really wish we saw more Charlie and John. But I think, I put John at number 2 just because he proved to be a real bruh. Even though I don't really think he should expect hundreds of thousands of dollars for failed business ventures, but that's neither here nor there. So I think the dynamic between Alice and John alone is what really boosts him to number 2. Number 3 is good old Mike, the asshole of the group. I think we all know some Mikes in our lives. I know, a couple from college, the one that the ladies always go for, treat ladies like trash, but still gets some, pretty much full of himself despite the height. And I always joke about the height. Look, I'm only 5'7", so me and Philip are probably the same height. I don't know for sure, but if we aren't the same, we're pretty damn close. So I feel like I have, height permission to joke about it because all of his bros make fun of him. I know what it's like to be the short man of the group. So yeah, I like, having a Tom or a Bill tower over me. I know what it's like to be Mike. Only in that aspect. The womanizer thing, I never got that part down. So I put him at number 3 just because of the fact that he's an asshole, but he's likable. The only thing that has me is the fact that the wedding arc, his jealousy thing made him really childish. It wasn't even like I don't see how women like that and find it attractive. There's a difference between being jealous and being straight up immature. And there were multiple times in the season where I'm like, yo, does Mike have like an abusive streak when he's drunk? I mean, you think about what happened with the dean's daughter in school. He was drunk. And then, when he first approached Pam at the bar, when him and Bill were at the bar counter, that he had a few too many drinks, went over there and showed up and showed out. Then, of course, in the mid-season finale, where he got drunk and pretty much approached Pam and I think David on their date, and he was again pretty much controlling and whatnot. I think that might need to be addressed because I think that's something that shouldn't be brushed over. But at the end, he tried to be honest to settle down, but kind of like Bill, he just wanted to put his flag in the ground and claim Pam as his own. I mean, early on in like episode 3, chapter 7, it was kind of identified that, Mike maybe had feelings for Pam, but he really didn't know how to express them. And he pretty much plus he made Pam cry. So that made me pissed off. He pretty much called her out being a whore. And it's like, what if I caught something from you? Because basically she's been around with a couple of guys, but pretty much diminishing the fact that he's been around with many women. So who are you to call Pam out of her name and whatnot? All because you're unsure of how to communicate your real feelings. But at the end of the season, he was trying to come around, but then he had to test the waters with Andy, and he pretty much, touched the stove when it was hot without a glove on, and now he's mad. Fuck! So yeah, Mike is number 3. Now we get to number 4. My goodness. So, Bill, wow. I mean, I guess his entire story arc is being the man who didn't know how good he had it until he lost it. Everything that he was apparently looking for, he pretty much didn't he didn't make the most of it. Regina was the woman for him, but he pretty much goofed around and decided he wasn't ready for a full-time committed relationship that would equate to would end in marriage. I mean, I put Mike as number 3, and arguably a lot of the situations that happen with his bros are a result of his own actions. I mean, but I don't put Mike at fault for the decisions of the other bros, because apparently Mike was the one that convinced Tom to sleep with Valerie. Hey, bang your coworker if you think she's hot. Okay, Christmas party. Bang, bang, bang. Rest in peace, Pops. Then with John, it was Mike's own actions that resulted in John deciding to take the blame for the Dean's daughter's sexual encounter, and that's how he got kicked out of school. And then Bill took Mike's advice and dumped Regina, because I mean, that's usually how it is. If there's like a free spirit, if you will, the friend in the group who doesn't want to settle down at all, they don't want their friends to settle down, so they adapt their lifestyle and pretty much sometimes throw away something that was actually the best thing that ever happened to them. So that's pretty much Bill, but even worse than Mike, it's like, what did Regina say? Broke up with me via text or whatever and left a box of all of her stuff outside of the door. And she waited like 2 years to see if he would change his mind, and he didn't. So then she ended up with Peter, and now they're getting married. And Bill is pretty much the first scene where it's like, what was it, like in episode 2 on my own 2 feet. Bill is in the sandwich shop. He meets up with Peter, and it's like, hey man, what are you doing here? Oh yeah, well I see my ex. We had a nasty breakup, and she's standing out there. And then she comes in, and then it's like, oh, you're getting married. So the first scene of Bill and Regina, before Regina comes on screen, is pretty much Bill saying that, yeah, I'm not trying to interact with my ex. It was a bad breakup. Then when you find out she's getting married, I want her back. Okay, that's not bad. What's bad is how delusional Bill becomes. I mean, from the interrupting the wedding on a white horse, and then he didn't even make it to the wedding. He fell off the horse. Going to the wedding, getting his ass whooped, and then ruining the wedding. And, I don't blame him for the bathroom sex. I don't blame him for that. That was Regina. She knew what she was doing. And then like totally disregarding Regina's feelings when it came to asking Bill to give her some space and give her some time, because that was easily the worst part of the season finale, because of the fact that we spent way too much time on the Bill not understanding, leave the girl alone. Like, Bill sadly had the worst story arc in season 1. I thought they were really going to go somewhere with it, like maybe he'd find someone else, pretty much do things over. Obviously, he can't rewind time with Regina, but perhaps he can actually look for someone and be faithful to them and be the man that he should have been to Regina. But no, we pretty much have a man who basically wants to mark his territory. And Mike is the same way. It's just like, I decide when I want to have feelings, and you're going to reciprocate them whether you want to or not. That's pretty much how I feel, these two characters represented. So, like I said before, if I were to rank the bros, Tom, John, Mike, Bill, in my personal opinion. So now it's time to do some recommendations for what episodes I would suggest for any person skeptical of the series. The first 3 episodes, because you kind of got to watch all 3 to get an understanding of how these characters are in terms of their story arcs. I mean, we're introduced to John and what he plans to do to get the money to buy the club. We get a feel for what Tom's going through at the hospital with Valerie. We understand that Mike and Pam have a pretty much, F each other on site dynamic. And then, of course, we have Bill and Regina. And then we also have, Miss Alice sprinkling some comedy here and there. So I'd highly recommend at least watching the first 3 episodes. But some other episodes that I'd recommend as well. Episode 7, the cute ones. Seriously, Tom's boss flirts with him. Dun, dun, dun. Episode 12, Dogs in the Snow. That is the mid-season finale where we are introduced, I believe, to the Dean's daughter and pretty much have a falling out, or the first encounter of, hey, you screwed up my boy John's life, so what the hell, man, or woman. And then, Valerie in that dress is why this episode is one of my favorites. I'm biased, so what? Hang on. Oh, I'm sorry. Episode 10, The Lone Wolf. That's when John actually realizes, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't purchase a club based on drug money because this could be pretty bad in the long run. And then Charlie gives him her number. And then episode 21, The Slow Walk. This is the first episode after that lengthy wedding arc that gave me or renewed my faith in the series, because it's like, oh my God, finally a good episode again. So yeah, episodes 1 through 3, 1, 2, 3, 7, 10, 12, and 21 would be my recommended episodes of the season. Also, the last thing I want to touch on is the fact that the relatability is what makes this show so damn good. I mean, I see elements of myself and friends within the Brus. The situations they tackle, for the most part, are serious. I feel like even though John's, is supposed to be like the comedic one of the group, his storyline to me had more weight behind it than Bill's. Like Bill's, it was going somewhere good, but then they just I don't know what the writing for Bill was supposed to equate to. I just don't understand it. He just felt like he was completely oblivious, and just the way he isn't able to understand that Regina does, as Miss Alice said, Regina don't want your ass, or at least not now anyway. So I feel like at the core, that's one of the weaknesses of the season. Bill's story was holding it down or holding it back. So, I mean, we have relationship issues, men who don't understand what they have or appreciate it until it's gone. We have a mother and son dynamic where the son lives with the mother. We have corruption within, business, like at the hospital with Tom, sexual harassment, false allegations. I don't think it's infidelity because of the fact that Regina and Peter weren't married, so never mind, I can't use that term. But yeah, I think this show has a little bit of something for everybody. That's what I think. I think that this show did a great job in season 1. Yes, it had its ups and downs, but if I were to grade the series for season 1, with a number out of 10, I would say, I'm sorry, that wedding arc really put it in. I would give season 1 of Bruh a 7.5 out of 10, because I feel like I had more laughs and relatability than I have to a show in a while. Like, it's a fun watch. The episodes are bite-sized. 21 minutes is not that bad. And like I said, you can binge the show in a day. It's not even 8. It's barely 8-ish hours. I mean, you can easily sit down and blow through the episodes like it's nobody's business. So I'd recommend Bruh. Give it a watch. Ruthless. Oh my God. Yeah, that show is coming back for vengeance for season 1, part 2. So with that being said, those are my thoughts on Bruh season 1. What did you think of the show? Have you not checked it out yet? If you haven't, I'd recommend it, especially if you're about to reactivate your BET Plus account for Ruthless. When you're done with Ruthless, just go ahead and watch Bruh. Seriously, you will not regret it. And be on the lookout again in the near future. I will be doing my Bruh season 1 versus Sisters season 1 video, talking about which show had the better season 1 and why. Let me know your thoughts on Bruh. What were some of your favorite episodes? Who were some of your favorite characters? And did you agree with my review? Do you think some areas I was a bit too harsh in? Do you think there were areas I was too lenient in? But like I said, the acting, pretty good. I liked it. So thanks so much for tuning in. If you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal, Cash App, or join Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you later.